I wear my love for Star Trek on my sleeve, literally. Today I am wearing my Star Trek cufflinks, which I wear on occasions where I go to work and I need to make some sort of command decision, and I hope that it gives me some good luck in making that command decision. So I want to continue sharing my love for Star Trek by being somewhat critical, which is sort of ironic. I love it so much, and sometimes the people you love the most are the people you're most critical of. And I want to start off with I want to continue talking about it with Enterprise. I talked about Voyager last episode, and there was already 17 views on that video. Wow! Thank you, the 17 people who watched that video. It's emboldened me to create more. And Enterprise, I shouldn't call it Star Trek Enterprise because originally it was just called Enterprise, which I think was a very good move, because I think more and more franchises are realizing that they don't have to attach the brand name to get people to come see their movie or their television show. A good example of that would be The Dark Knight for Batman, or The Man of Steel for Superman, or various other ventures. Agents from S.H.I.E.L.D. is not necessarily, doesn't have the same name appeal as the Avengers would. So I thought it showed that the people who are creating the show are willing to take some sort of risk. And it's some of those risks that pay off and some of those risks that do not. Now, just like the previous video, a good portion of what I'm going to talk about for this video is going to be about the opening theme. I don't want to talk too much about seasons 2, 3, and 4. I want to give this video some focus. So Broken Bow Part 1, Part 2, I remember watching it in September of 2001, which was a time where I think many of us needed to watch something that was escapist after the September 11th attacks. And I actually associate this show with the 9/11 attacks because it was my first, it was the first thing I watched on television that wasn't CNN or NBC, MSNBC or Fox, or I was constantly inundating myself with coverage of anthrax and debris and things of that sort. So it was really great timing for something that was sort of escapist. So I went into this show very hungry for it, and it delivered on many levels. The opening it starts off with a boy painting a model ship, which is rather cliche. I wish it didn't start this way. I wish it started with the exciting scene thereafter, where you have a crash ship in a cornfield, and there's a Klingon running, and there's these two aliens chasing him that are green tinted, and they're called the Suliban. So immediately it creates sort of like this in media res excitement. Who are these people? Why are they running? Who are the green guys? How is this going to relate to us getting into space? Great start. And then the theme music began. And there's a lot on IMDb or YouTube already about this, and it's 2014. It's been many years to complain about this, but let me try to add something new to this complaint, if I may. My dad has several Russell Watton CDs, and that's a bad sign, actually. If my dad owns the CD of the singer of the Star Trek theme song, that probably means it's a little cheesy and a little bad. My dad, yeah, I love my dad. He's into like musical theater, opera. He owns like every Robert Goulet album ever made, both on vinyl and CD. So if my dad owns a Russell Watson CD, it probably means he's not fit to sing the Star Trek theme song. It's going to be a little cheesy. And SciFi creates an opportunity for musicians to be creative, to be eerie, to be just plain weird. The original Star Trek theme song was actually pretty weird. It was so weird that people thought the vocalization on the original Star Trek was a theremin, which is this really futuristic musical device that, if you don't know what it is, with an antenna and like a box, and you use your hands to disrupt waves to create pitch. You change the frequency. Well, I don't know the science of it, but the fact that people thought it was a theremin indicated the original Star Trek theme song was forward-looking. It was futuristic. The other Star Treks are more orchestral. Orchestral is always safe. It works in Star Wars. It works in Star Trek. It's okay to use orchestral music. But if you're going to use something that's actually earthbound sounding music, namely pop or just just general cheese, it's not going to work to set a good mindset for your show. You know, look at the Day the Earth Stood Still. That used a theremin. That was, you know, woo, weird music. Tron Legacy, which was an okay movie, but it wasn't that great. The soundtrack is fantastic. Daft Punk, using electronic equipment, using weird instrumentation, created a great feel for Tron Legacy. So I think here again, lost opportunity, and not just lost opportunity, but just opening yourself up for being lame. I'm not going to sing it now. Thank God my voice is almost dead right now, because I might actually try to sing it. Rather than sing it, let's just watch a few bars of the song, just to remind you what Mr. Watson's vocalization sounds like.
Getting from there to here, it's been a long time, but my time is finally near. And I will see my dream come alive at last. I will touch the sky, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna change my mind.
I'm gonna stop it here. The imagery is okay. It's not great. It's a little cliche, but it's about, you know, enterprises, ventures, if you will. So I'm okay with the imagery. It's just the song. It's earthbound. It's too pedestrian. It's something that I'm going to space. I'm not going to the waiting room at my dentist office. So it's wrong. And just to show you how it is, I put together this video using R. Kelly's one of the R. Kelly songs that you might recognize, and ask yourself, is this very different from what I just heard?
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. Oh, I believe I can fly. Woo. Hey, 'cause I believe in you. Oh, if I can see it, woo, then I can do it. I can do it. If I just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. Woo. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away.
Alright, would that have made that much of a difference, really? I think it's pretty much the same tenor of what the original Star Trek Enterprise theme song was. So yeah, it's not good. And let me get back to the whole idea of sci-fi presenting opportunities for eeriness, for experimentation. Would it have been so terrible to set an eerie tone like the original series had with something that had not been done before? Sort of like that feeling people got when they first watched Herbie Hancock at the Grammy Awards in the early 80s, and there was like, they'd never seen a man with a turntable scratching. They thought that DST was the future of music, and in a way they were right. He looked very sci-fi, and people felt like they were looking through a lens into the 21st century. Or for me, that moment happened the first time I went to, the first time I heard Kid A by Radiohead. I know people think Radiohead is overrated, but sometimes things are overrated for a reason. And I was at a party, it was the pre-party assembly, and someone brought over Kid A, and they popped it into the CD player, and I remember just listening to that and just being like, this is terrible. But I couldn't stop listening, and then after the 40 minutes or so had expired, play it again, and you know, this was a band that used to play guitars and drums and basses, and then when you see them I saw them on Saturday Night Live promoting Kid A, they were just like plugging, they looked like switchboard operators, like one person's like plugging jacks into some devices. I don't know. Radiohead back then was highly experimental, so wouldn't it have been weird to have some sort of like up and coming electronica band, maybe some chiptune band or something like that, make your sci-fi show more sci-fi. Rather than me, it may sound stupid, but I think this works. I actually put the first track, you could put any track from Kid A up against anything and it'll be okay. But here's the first track of that album by Radiohead, with the superimposition of the Star Trek imagery. Does that work? I think it works. If it didn't work for you, rewind it and watch it again. It works. It's weird. I want space to be weird. I want that Twilight Zone feeling. Man, I still get scared watching the original series. Even though like the aliens look like they're made out of paper mache sometimes, it's weird, it's eerie, it's strange. So yeah, that's really what I want to talk about, or what I did talk about with this video, is the most egregious mistake of Enterprise, which eventually becomes Star Trek Enterprise. But just to give you a preview of my thoughts of the show as a whole, it was unfairly treated, being canceled by UPN. UPN was very patient with Voyager, giving it 7 years. I think this show deserved 7 years as well. But if you watch the previous Voyager video, many of the problems with Enterprise are the same types of problems with Voyager. For example, not having patience to develop certain things. For example, nobody speaks any languages that they're going. Well, they do. Hoshi speaks Klingon. No, not Klingon. Vulcan. But for the most part, you don't have a universal translator. Great opportunities for weird, awkward moments. Remember that episode of Next Generation, Darmok? Imagine having Darmok every other week or something like that. The transporter, people are scared of it, but too quickly people start using it normally. I would have liked to seen really the growing pains of the transporter. You know, having people transported with like an arm sticking out of their mouth, or you know, their head is in the wrong place. It's sort of like why McCoy was scared to get in the transporter. McCoy was scared, and that's 100 years later. So you could imagine, you know, these people being absolutely terrified of getting in that transporter. Just having some fun transporter stuff. Eventually it starts working, but it doesn't transport your clothing for some reason, which with T'Pol is fine by me. T'Pol was sex appeal without, but with less of the gimmick of 7 of 9. So it's a fine show. I'm going to watch it again, and if I have other things to say about it, I'll post another video. But I really just wanted to show you those clips of R. Kelly and Radiohead doing the theme song for Star Trek Enterprise. Is there anything else? That's it. That's it. I'll see you later. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm out of here. Been a long time, but my time is finally near. I can see my dreams come alive now. I can touch the sky, and they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna take my pride, 'cause I got faith.